AskReddit by Kageo Agam. Hey Reddit, what was the saddest moment in your life? My co-worker's friend found out she was pregnant just before her husband tragically died in a car accident. A few weeks after giving birth, she accidentally smothered her baby while breastfeeding. My co-worker came to work devastated, unable to talk to customers, just crying in her office. It made me see how small my problems really are. YTF does she even have to come to work after that? Some countries really need a better healthcare system. The moment I put my hand on my partner of 42 years to shake him awake one morning and realized he was dead. Same thing happened to me, and we had only been dating for a year. He was 23. My mom passed away 2 days before my 19th birthday and we had her funeral and buried her the day after it. 11 years later I still can't find it in myself to celebrate my birthday. That's horrible. I'm so sorry. Coming home from work to find my beloved 48 years old husband dead on the sofa, not drugs. Very similar to my experience. You have my deepest sympathy. An elderly woman crying at the bank because her son stole her life savings from her and went missing. I worked at a bank and this very confused older lady comes in, speaking mostly Vietnamese and broken English, saying she was trying to withdraw money. She had a debit card that linked to a joint account but she didn't know the PIN and, after looking at it, it was her husband's name. Trying to ask the usual identifying questions and eventually she tells me her husband always did this for her, but he had passed earlier that week. He was the one who would go to the bank to withdraw what I assumed was SSI, so she didn't know how to get their money out. She was so sweet and kind the whole time. The whole situation broke my heart. My sister passed away of a ruptured brain aneurysm 6 weeks after her wedding. Her husband took his own life 8 years later. That's heartbreaking. Was in a restaurant. A small boy was trying to ask his mum a question. She just kept ignoring him, and when she finally turned to him she told him to shut up, play on your tablet. His face after that was the saddest thing. Kinda broke my heart TBF. Every child deserves a parent, but not every parent deserves a child. Deleted. I'm sorry, I'm suicidal and in acute depression as well and feel like a failure. I hope it gets better for you someday here if you ever need. The interesting thing is that some of us have not gone through it yet. Terrifying thought, thanks for that. Watching my mom hooked up to a ventilator for weeks, fighting for her life, struggling to breathe before eventually dying in front of us. She was a healthy, beautiful woman before and COVID made her almost unrecognizable by the end. I've never felt so much pain, heartbreak and anger. She didn't need to die that way. I ran outside screaming at the sky, bawling my eyes out. And now people say COVID was a conspiracy theory and the world stopped functioning for nothing. I'm so sorry for your loss. When my 21-year-old brother was killed in a car wreck, it'll be 32 years next month and today is his birthday. I miss you, lil bro. The day my father killed himself. My brother dying. 25 years old, 2 young kids. Heart condition he didn't know he had. At a convention, a dad and his son waited to play Mario Kart 8. The son got distracted playing another demo. When their turn came, the dad wanted his son to join but got refused as the son was busy playing Star Fox Zero. The dad tried playing alone with a Nintendo helper but seemed disheartened. It was clear he just wanted to spend time with his son at the convention. Typical kid lol. I've been that dad. You gotta just remind yourself that you are spending time with your kid, and he's going to have fun Star Fox memories instead of getting wand in MK by his dad in public. I think I was 15 at the time when I figured out that my mom had me because her friends were all having babies and my dad married my mom because someone told him to get married. It's weird, To know how many of us exist because some dumb teenagers were just doing what their dumb parents did. The day I got divorced for the second time. I was 29 and felt like the biggest failure. I can see why you would feel that way. I hope you are doing well now however and that you were able to find happiness inside of yourself and out. I know the future holds the true saddest moment of my life, but for now. Seeing my ex for the last time after she moved out. We met in a parking lot to exchange some items. She decided to jump into my arms and hug me tighter than ever before while bawling her eyes out. It was too late at that point. The damage had been done and we both knew it was the last time we would see each other. I loved her more than anything. Breaks my heart every time I drive past that lot. When I brought my tween daughter to a psych inpatient unit for suicidal intentions and she told me on the way into the building that if she did eventually go through with killing herself, it wasn't my fault and she knew that I did all I could. This was 4.5 years ago and I still cry when I remember it. Thankfully her life was saved but I am ever vigilant. My parents went through this with me and it makes me cry knowing how heartbroken and distraught they were to hear me say I won't be around one day and it's no one's fault. I just don't want to be here. It must make you feel helpless. Literally this last month. I don't know what to do with my life and I'm desperate. Big hug to you internet stranger, Etika Bibant. My childhood friend, more like a sister to me, ended her life back of depression. My dad went on vacation to Myrtle Beach. Our relationship had been shoddy at the best of times but we had been doing pretty well for about 2 years at this point. Right after my youngest son was born he came around and we seemed to tolerate each other more. On his trip, he went swimming, dove under and never woke up. He was declared brain dead with absolutely no reason, was cremated and mailed home. We live in Michigan. Still can't tell you why or how he died. I have two. My dad died when I was 2. When I was a teenager I had this dream. I was at the beach playing in the water. I waddled in deeper. I was scared. Suddenly a pair of hands picked me up out of the water, carrying me to safety. I found out that we as a family did go on holiday to the beach when my dad was alive. It might be a memory. My second one was when my daughter was born. I couldn't hold her, as she was born at 30 weeks. I begged to at least to see her, but they denied my request as daughter was rushed to special care baby unit. I couldn't see her until my epidural wore off, which took hours. Seeing that little baby no bigger than my hand sleeping in an incubator broke my heart. I can't imagine not being able to hold your baby immediately. I'm so sorry. 2 days after finding out my mom had terminal cancer, I came home from visiting her to find that my boyfriend had moved out and left his keys on the counter. I had already lost my dad in 2017. He left when I needed someone most. I'm so sorry. Honestly, after spending a relatively long time thinking over this question, I realize my life hasn't been very sad. I mean, sure there was a fair bit of craziness, ups and downs, rough and rumbles and all of that as one experiences, but none of it in any sense particularly tragic. My sympathies to all of the rest of you in this thread with your substantial tragedies. To all of you, I truly wish you're doing better. I'm very happy that your life has been really quite good. The day my dad passed away,